Hi, and we're live here on Facebook and YouTube at the same time because I'm a badass like that. And we're doing another Q&A giveaway. And also just re-mentioning again that tomorrow, Monday, the 25th of January, we're doing a live Fighter's Body Training Secrets Challenge. Definitely check that out, sign it up, because it's just going to be full of value-packed information. Some of my motivation tips and methods, my morning routine, some key exercises and drills, a striking crash course, and a bunch of other cool stuff. Plus, I'll be giving away a 1-year free Fighter's Body membership, which is valued at $400. So can't beat that. So make sure you join that. Check out the link in the description. But yeah, today it's Sunday for most people who are watching. It's Monday morning for me. Want to start off this week nice and sexy like. And so I figured I'd jump on, say what's up, and see how you guys are doing. I see Maxwell's here already. You're one of the gangsters who's always here. Appreciate that, Max. Yeah, they've been a lot of fun for me. I've been enjoying interacting with you and my fans, and yeah, kind of lost touch, honestly, a little bit because social media got a little bit just too much for me, especially just with the way the world is and U.S. politics is. I had to step away for a while, but I feel much more in control now. What's up, dude? Where you guys all watching from? We got Tariq, another Nak Muay live, giving away some stuff. We're going to be giving away some t-shirts today. Snowy in the South UK. Man, I don't miss the snow. But thanks for joining, Steven. I know it's pretty late for you, isn't it? Dyson, what's going on? New Zealand. Got all these people joining up. Small Polynesian island in Samoa. Whoa. All right. Hell yeah, that's the first time we got someone from there. What's the island called? I'm interested now. New York City. New York in the house. That's what's up. That's what's up. I feel like a goofball this morning. Definitely need your thoughts on the Poirier fight. All right, we'll jump right into it. Poirier is a fucking beast. What can I say? Calf kicks, eh? I watched the post-fight interview with McGregor and Poirier, and you were just talking a lot about the calf kick, and obviously it really limited McGregor's movement and everything. And I've never really had to deal with – I get kicked quite a bit, and I've never had that issue, fortunately. But I've never had someone just kind of attack my calf like that either, so I don't really know how much of an effect that would have on me. But apparently it had a lot of effect on McGregor. He's one of the best. Poirier got caught in the first round, and he said in the post-fight interview that if McGregor laid it on him, it could have been some serious trouble. So, because I saw in the first round McGregor, I was like, oh, McGregor's got this one. But then as the fight progressed, Poirier started to pour it on. Awesome fight, and I really like how McGregor held himself this time around. It was just much more professional and respectful, and you could tell that having kids and being a little bit more mature definitely changed his approach to the marketing side of things. So yeah, awesome stuff. Poirier essentially is the champion unless Khabib comes back. But yeah. All right, guys. So doing a Q&A. So if you have any questions, just message on the comments. My assistant Scott is in the background being all ninja-like. And if you put a Q before your question, it'll be easier for him to sort through. And yeah, if he doesn't get to your question on the screen right away, just keep posting it if you really want me to answer it, and I'll do my best. And I usually come back at the end of this live, either immediately afterwards, or I usually come 24 hours or 48 hours after this live to just check in with you guys if you've watched this in the future and you're watching it days ahead of that time. And I'll come back and answer any questions you have. So make sure you drop them. So what do we got today? We got Kevin. Hi, I'm from Brazil. How can I train elbows without hurting my partners in sparring? Elbow pads definitely will help. That will be the first thing I would recommend. And secondly, make sure that you're just in good control. And it's more of just touching and not so much hitting with the elbows when you're sparring with them. Because if you've ever been hit with the elbow, even with elbow pads on, you'll know how much they hurt. And so obviously you want to be in really good control and just make sure that your partner knows what's going on, that you're throwing elbows and that kind of stuff. But you're not trying to throw the elbows viciously. You're just trying to just tap the elbows and just trying to place them if anything. But a lot of it just comes down to awareness and control, and then having elbow pads is going to help avoid cuts and some serious damage. So, boom, question answered. Number one. All right, we got Kaxa Man. What's your opinion on the boxer transitioning to Muay Thai? I am kind of a boxer who transitioned to Muay Thai. Little known fact, or maybe it's a well-known fact, I don't fucking know. But I started boxing. Boxing was my first martial art, if you will. And yeah, the stance is completely different because a boxing stance, you're much more squared off and you can play around with different styles of guards and stuff. And the way you even throw punches is slightly different too. Your guard's completely different. But it's helped me. I mean, my boxing is what wins me fights. Most of my knockouts, most of my knockouts have come from my boxing, my right hand. And so it's definitely helped me with my foundation of having good power punches and good combinations and some good head movement and that kind of stuff. But that being said, it also took me a while to break some bad habits, like my stance, like loading up on my punches, like bobbing and weaving too much. And so you have to definitely relearn some things. But yeah, I think it's a good place to start. And yeah, it's just a matter of bringing awareness and trying to make sure you're just breaking those boxing habits. But it's fun to transition from one to another. Got my coffee today. Coffee today, not tea today, because I ain't no bitch. I got over my sickness. I'm ready to go. Ready to fucking go. What you got, guys? What you got? Can you thumb wrestle? I can. Not well. I'm not much of a grappler, to be honest. So it's not one of my many talents, unfortunately. But I think I can thumb wrestle pretty hard. Pretty gangster-like, you know? Matthew, any time frame on when the training camps will open again? So it's hard to say right now. So a little insight on what's going on in Thailand right now. Can you travel? Can you train? Training camps are open. A lot of gyms have closed, though. And some gyms are closed until essentially the borders open up again. The borders are open, but you have to do a 14-day quarantine in a specific type of hotel. And that typically costs between like $2,000 to $4,000 just to do the hotel quarantine. And that doesn't even include food and that kind of stuff. And so in order to get into Thailand, you need to spend quite a bit of money and quite a bit of time inside quarantine. And then you can go and train Muay Thai and do all that kind of stuff. These motorbikes are so loud sometimes. I don't know how they ride them. But in regards to the camps, right now, my focus is a lot on the online aspect of my business and helping you guys through these lives, through the fighter's body, through my courses like the Heavy Bag Blueprint. It's a little bit more manageable for me. When I host the camps, it's very immersive. And so I'm very involved with the camps. And they're 4 weeks long. I might cut them down to 2 weeks if I end up doing them again. But my goal for the next 2 or 3 years is to really focus on my fight career. And so I might not be hosting Thailand camps during that time, just so this way I can really just focus on my own training. And then ideally at the end of the 2 or 3 years, I win a championship. That's my goal here in Thailand. And then I open up a Muay Thai gym, Muay Thai yoga resort / animals shelter sanctuary thing. And then I'll be hosting camps all the fucking time, year round. And so this way you guys can come and train with me. But we'll be doing retreats. Retreats are a lot more manageable than me, for me, because they're all inclusive and I have more help with those, and they're only a week long. And so, yeah, we'll be in Greece. I'm not sure if that will happen this year, but Greece, Costa Rica, and potentially Spain will be on the list of Muay Thai retreats that we'll be doing in the future. But yeah, just sign up at muaythaivacations.com for updates, and I'll email you whenever there are updates. But I'm not thinking this year. If anything, next year. But I wouldn't even count on that. I'm always open to giving advice on what gyms you should train at and everything. So I made a video on my YouTube about what gym you should train at in Thailand, because I always get questions. Sean, what gym should I train at in Thailand? It's really hard there's a lot of gyms, right? So it's hard to give you a specific answer when I don't usually know the person personally who's asking me the question. And so I made this video to hopefully help you kind of figure out the best answer for your specific situation, what your goals are, what your budget's like, what type of location you like the most, and so on and so forth. So make sure you check out my YouTube channel if you haven't already, or just Google what gym in Thailand should I train at, and then I'll pop up. I pop up everywhere. Google Muay Thai. I'm fucking somewhere, yo. I'm fucking somewhere. What we got? What was Connor doing wrong on checking those kicks? With the outside, with the low kicks, like below the knee, you really have to turn your leg out at an angle. With the regular checks, let's see if I can see it here. With the regular checks, right, they can still catch my shin here, but if they're kicking really low, it'll wrap around the back, and that's where it'll be hitting the calves and stuff. And so the main idea is just you have to really angle out your check, so this way it's going straight shin on shin, because it might have been hitting the side of the shin, but otherwise it's wrapping around. So yeah, checking kicks is a bitch one way or another, but you definitely want to try to make your opponent pay. Try to get like straight shin on shin contact, which is so much fun. How do you build cardio, stamina, and endurance? You run and you train Muay Thai, and then you run some more, and you train some more Muay Thai, and then guess what? You run some more and you train Muay Thai. Boom. And then you also can mix in some sprints and some body weight circuits and that kind of stuff. But the best way to build cardio and stamina for Muay Thai is to do Muay Thai. Tariq, why do you think Western-based Muay Thai doesn't use the clinch as much as Thais? Because the Thais train clinch every single fucking day. Every single day, every single training session, they train clinch. In the West, clinch is trained maybe once a week, maybe a couple times a week. And even those sessions aren't nearly as long or as grueling as the sessions that they do here in Thailand. And so just the amount of repetition and time that they put into drilling the clinch is like far beyond what Westerners train in the clinch. And so naturally their skill is going to be much better in the clinch. And so, yeah, it's just a matter of just quantity and quality. They just train more and train longer and train harder with the clinch. And because it's just what they fucking do, you know, just what they fucking do. Best way to start Muay Thai journey for people on a budget. So I get this question a lot because obviously Muay Thai can be a relatively expensive sport. Signing up for a gym could be like $100 a month or more. Honestly, if you're serious about your training, about bettering yourself, about improving your skills, the $100 a month should be easy to spend. And I know you're on a budget. Don't go out on the weekends. Don't eat out as much. Use that money for gym membership, because that's going to be so much more valuable than the social activity of going out on a Friday night and spending like $100 there. Not that I'm saying you do that or anything, but I'm just saying try to prioritize where your spending is. I know times are tough. Money can be tight, but it's a matter of prioritizing your health and your happiness over certain other aspects. And like your health and happiness, when it comes to Muay Thai training, it's going to cost $100 a month. But I also have plenty of free YouTube channels, or I have a YouTube channel that has plenty of free videos to help you kind of get the basic foundations down, give you some good follow-along workouts to just kind of try to look like what I'm doing. And then I also have the Fighter's Body, which is opening up Thursday, I think. Thursday or Wednesday, the 28th, whatever day that is. And yeah, I'll be reopening enrollment for that. And it's a 12-month progressive program made specifically for Muay Thai. And so it'll teach you the foundations and help you with your balance, your control, your combinations, your defense, your footwork, your mindset, your cardio, your strength, your power, your flexibility, everything. It's just a all done for you Muay Thai workout program. And so you can check out thefightersbody.com right now. It's going to lead you to sign up for a challenge, which is starting tomorrow on Monday. Tomorrow my time. No, today is Monday, my time. Well, tomorrow for you guys, Monday. And that will give you some good insights as well and give you some sneak peeks of what the membership is like. And that's only $39 a month. And that should be within most people's budgets if you are dedicated and serious and committed to your Muay Thai training and to your health and fitness. So, boom. Good question, though. You guys are killing it with the questions. Appreciate them. Appreciate you guys always jumping on. Mulis. Hey, Sean, been practicing Muay Thai for 2 years, and I find it awkward parrying hits to the body because of the stance, having both arms up. What are your suggestions for blocking punches and kicks to the body? Let me see. Blocking punches and kicks to the body, right? So typically when I block punches or kicks to the body, when I block kicks to the body, ideally I'm checking the kicks. That's the first line of defense, right? Well, the first line of defense is actually evading. And so I had my arm broke in a fight. And then after that fight, I was like, you know what? Instead of like blocking kicks, I'm going to try to evade kicks, evade all the damage as possible. So evasion is always going to be a good move, right? My second line of defense is usually checking, because if they check my kick or if I check their kick, it's going to make them think a little bit more when they throw another kick. Then my third line of defense is catching and sweeping. And so typically when someone throws a body kick at me, I keep my elbow nice and tight to my body, my hand on my head. So I'm just kind of like crunching down, right? And then my other hand will swing underneath. So this will kind of block the kick initially. And then this other hand will wrap around. And then I'll grab a hold of their leg and I'll pull it through. And then I'll come with a sweep. And that shit is cash money. That works on everyone at least once, right? And same on the other side. If they kick me on this side, then I'll block on this side, pass this through, and then sweep on this side. Or you could pass it through and come with the hook. Other than that, you want to make sure that you're using like both your arms to kind of like parry down. Now, in kickboxing, this is a block. In Muay Thai, this is a score for the kicker, because if you've been kicked into the arms enough, it's going to hurt, right? And so you want to make sure you're trying to avoid just blocking with your arms as much as possible. So I guess I hope this answers your question. I'm sorry. Sometimes I go off topic because when you ask a question, it makes me think of other things relative to that question. But essentially, work on other forms of defense, right? Work on evasion, work on checking, and work on catching, even if you're catching it to the body and then throwing a strike. And then the last thing you should be doing is blocking with your arms. But if you are blocking with your arms, just make sure you're trying to counter right away. So this way, it's at least making your opponent think twice before they start kicking. But I hope that helps. Hope that helps. Seneca, what are your thoughts on cannabis use in Muay Thai? I myself am a pothead and love to train. So I smoke weed, I eat edibles, and I wrote a blog post called, if you Google a Muay Thai stoner, I wrote a blog post maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. Well, time flies, eh? And I wrote it while I was high about my use of weed with Muay Thai. And that's one of the most popular blog posts I have, so you can go check that out. But I don't really smoke too much anymore. Each to their own, really, because I know some people who smoke weed and it doesn't affect them positively, and then others. Me personally, when I smoke weed, typically I have more of a creative edge to me, and I'm able to flow a little bit. So when I've had training sessions where I'll smoke before the training session, and I'm in the fucking matrix. I can't be hit. I'm moving like Neo. I'm dodging kicks and shit. And then I'll smoke the very next day and do the training session. And then I'm like stuck in the mud. I can't see anything. I'm moving in slow motion while everyone else is speeding up around me. So it's really hit or miss. But most of the time when I smoke and I train like the heavy bag or shadow boxing, I'm able to flow a lot more and just be a little bit more creative with my movements and my combinations. And I'm usually a lot more like present. That being said, I've trained myself to be more present and more creative just by setting intention and doing some like self-hypnosis, if you will, before my training sessions. But yeah, each to their own. It definitely affected my lungs a little bit and my cardio a little bit. So I typically, right now, I stick to edibles, and they do the trick for me. But I typically only do them on the weekends now, because otherwise I end up being a lazy piece of shit too much, to be honest. More coffee. What do your tattoos mean? So I have a handful of tattoos. So let's see. Okay, so this is Hanuman. Let me see. It's going to be hard to, because the sun and the lighting. All right. This is Hanuman. He's an ancient monkey Hindu god. He can shapeshift, and he has very strong power and will as a warrior. So I love the symbolism of him. This is Sun Wukong on my arm. He's an ancient Chinese mythical monkey god as well. I guess I have a thing for monkey gods, but he defeated the whole army of the heavens after he was sent there as like a it's not torture, but as just like he was exiled to heaven because he was just causing too much shit on Earth, and I really kind of I vibe with this guy because like I feel like I cause a lot of shit here on Earth, and then anyway, and then I have Buddha and the lotus flower, which are just I have a lot of Buddhist beliefs and philosophies in my day-to-day life, and so I've been enjoying that. A little out of focus. Thank you, Scott. Boom. Hopefully that helps. Then I have this chest sakyant, and it's essentially a warrior's necklace, which a lot of Thai warriors would get before they go into war to help with protection and strength and all that kind of stuff. I have, this means love conquers all in kanji, because I'm a big believer in not just like love romantically, but just love of life, passion for life and that kind of stuff. And so that resonates deeply with me as well. On the back of this arm is my best friend died when he was 18. And that fucking shifted my perspective on life. And that really was a defining moment on just where I went with my life, because it made me realize that like, yo, life is short. I need to actually make it count. And then I got this Sakyant piece done recently. And each yantra means something a little slightly different. The one on my hand is kind of symbolizes like an arrow and being able to pierce through my opponent or pierce through my enemies, both physically and spiritually. And then there's like a intertwining dragon here. And if you see all these old school swords that Thais used to use in battle, this was the symbol on their swords. And this is also kind of like to pierce their enemy. And so this right hand is a fucking motherfucker, right? And then this is like essentially a compass. It's called the 10 points. And it kind of speaks to my freedom of my life, freedom of travel, freedom of my passion. And it also symbolizes my love and care for my family and my friends and the people close to me. And I have a tattoo on my rib that doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, there you go. I should do a little YouTube video on my tattoos one of these days. I get asked that question relatively often. Thank you for the $4. Definition of anarchy. By the way, you guys can always throw me a couple bucks and I'll definitely answer your question on YouTube. Hey, Sean, looking forward to our interview Tuesday. Yes, likewise. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys didn't know, I'm reopening the Fighter's Body on January 28th, and I'm interviewing a bunch of members of the Fighter's Body who have just proven to be fucking badasses. And yeah, I'm going to be just chatting away with them, asking them about their experience inside the membership, what they've learned, what they've improved on, how they've enjoyed it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure, I'm going to be going live every motherfucking day for the next 11 days. So you're going to get sick and tired of this beautiful face because you're going to just be like, oh my God, him again. But hopefully I'll be able to help you with some aspects of your training, your life, your mindset, and that kind of stuff, because that's the goal. That's the goal. And you better believe after this shit, I'm taking a little fucking break. But until then, I'm fucking on, yo. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fucking go. All right, what else we got? What else we got? You have any good counters when someone catches a kick? What are some good escapes? So a good thing to just train into your muscle memory is when you throw the kick, is turning your foot over and then sneaking it right back out as quickly as you can. So you throw the kick, right? And then you turn your foot. So this way it's not sideways like this. Let me see if I can. You kick, you turn your hip and pull it straight out. If they hold on to it, right, then you push off their hips as you pull back. If you can't do that, then you fucking punch them in the face. Those are the main counters. And then also you can knee guard. So you can, if they catch the kick, you can kind of, my hips are not loosened up, by the way. You can loosen, you can knee guard and grab their head and pull down on their head as you push through their hips here. So it kind of breaks their posture and they won't be able to counter. And then usually the ref will break it up. But yeah, those are some counters. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Mike King. I am a bitch, even with belly pads on. And when my partner practices his teeps and knees, it hurts my belly. How do I combat this? Will the pain ever go away? A lot of it, you ain't no bitch, first off, because you're doing it. You're fucking doing it. So that, first off, makes you not a bitch. So well done. Secondly, a lot of it has to come down with core conditioning. So make sure you're doing some like core stability movements, plank and extended planks, and like full body where your entire body is like tensed up are some of the best core exercises you can do. Also, breathing is going to really help in making sure that your timing is really good with the teep and making sure that you're exhaling as you're getting teep, right? But core conditioning is definitely going to help. And just continually doing that is going to help. And I know it's going to be a little painful, but hashtag no pain, no Muay Thai, if you know what I mean. And so, yeah, the pain, it's just like the pain will never go away completely, but it will improve. It will definitely improve. And yeah, just condition your shin, or not your shin, your core as much as you can. So I'm trying to focus this shit. All right. Any advice for a 12-year-old fighter like me? Have fun, yo. Find a good trainer and just have fun. You're young. Just try to really learn the basics. Try to just enjoy the process. I wish I started when I was 12, that's for sure. But yeah, just make sure you surround yourself with positive people. You have a good coach, good environment, and just put in the work. Stay consistent. Consistency at 12 years old will pay off in the long run. So yeah, just get started, stay consistent, have fun, keep it simple. Don't overthink it, especially as a 12-year-old. Taua. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I apologize if I'm not. When choosing a coach, what do you look at? Their fight record? Fight record, not so much. Do they have fights? That is important. Their fight record isn't a good indication to whether or not they're a good coach. I know plenty of fighters who are unbelievable as fighters, and they are horrible fucking coaches. And so ring experience is definitely important, because I feel like as a coach, you need to know what your fighter's going through. And if you haven't been through it yourself, if you haven't been through the process of weight cutting, of the roller coaster of emotions that you have to deal with leading up to a fight, it's going to be hard to be able to give actual advice that's going to resonate with your fighter. But mainly, it's just someone who really cares, has a little bit of a fight record. For example, my first coach, he was 2-1, but he could beat my ass, and he knew a lot. And just because he didn't have a lot of fights didn't make him a good practitioner. He just didn't enjoy fighting that much, but he wanted to fight to get some experience, right? But just someone who really cares, who is there to help you, and just is genuinely passionate about the sport, and who's someone who has like a growth mindset, who's always looking to learn, who's not just like stagnated, and who likes to diversify the training, but also focus on the fundamentals and not too much fancy stuff. So I know I just threw a lot out there, but the main number one thing is someone who actually like cares and has a passion for the sport, and cares about their students. Because a lot of coaches, unfortunately, I've heard so many stories of, it's crazy how people open up Muay Thai gyms to make money. Like, you're not going to make that much money opening up Muay Thai gyms. Muay Thai is not a lucrative sport. I'll tell you that much. You don't make a lot of money doing Muay Thai. Fighting, coaching, all that kind of stuff. What's up, definition of anarchy? You deserve the support. What do you think of the Dustin Conner fight? Was Connor's stance so why do you think? Why didn't he check those? Yeah, so I answered this question a little bit in the beginning, so I'll kind of just gloss over it again. But yeah, the karate stance definitely is going to make it a little bit tougher to check the outside kicks that are coming from the outside. And also when Conor was checking them, he wasn't angling out far enough, so the kick was still wrapping around his shin. And it's not, it might have been hitting a little bit of his shin, but it's mainly going around to the calf, right? And so, yeah, the karate stance definitely makes it a little bit more difficult to check kicks properly. And yeah, just he in the post-fight press conference, he was just saying how he didn't realize how effective that was until it happens to you, you know? So, yeah. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the love. Richard Neal, what's going on? In sparring, I pull my shots too much and avoid making contact. I have a hard time punching people intentionally. How do I get through this barrier? Shift your mindset, right? if you're pulling back and not actually challenging your sparring partners, you're doing a disservice to them. You are not helping them improve. If anything, you're giving them a false sense of confidence where they're going to feel like they know what they're doing. But meanwhile, you've been taking it easy on them, right? You need to punch them in the fucking face. You need to kick them in the body. You need to actually try to not necessarily try to hurt them, but you need to try to score. You need to try to let them know where their openings are, where their weaknesses are. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to know where their weaknesses are and improve on them. And then when they go into a fight, they're going to be getting caught with the same things that you were kind of letting them get away with, right? And so be a good training partner and punch that motherfucker in the face, because otherwise you're just essentially just making them feel confident for no reason. You need to earn that confidence. And just be a good training partner. Punch them in the face. Tell fighters to study other than the great Paul Banashik. Tall fighters to study other than the great Paul Banashik. Tall fighters. Sammy Schilt, K1 kickboxer. Great fighter. What other tall motherfucking kickboxers? It's a good question, because I don't study too many tall fighters because I'm not a fucking tall fighter. Who else is Dieselnoy was pretty tall for his weight class. That's a good question. If you guys have any answers, drop them in the comments and help out Elliot a little bit, because I'm a little stumped right now. I don't know if my brain's not firing right now, but can't think of many tall fighters. Sammy Schilt came to mind. I don't know. Elliot, thank you for the $5. Tips on calorie intake when training 3 to 5 times a week. Was cutting well on a low-calorie diet until I started heavy training and now holding weight at 6'3", 210. So is your goal to lose weight? Is your goal to gain weight? Is your goal to maintain weight? It kind of depends on your goals, right? But generally speaking, it's a lot of trial and error. And when it comes down to calorie intake, I generally recommend trying to figure out your macro numbers. And then based off your macro numbers, you'll be able to figure out a better calorie intake. Inside the Fighter's Body, I have a nutrition crash course that kind of goes over the math in regards to figuring out. I can't remember the math at the top of my head of how to figure out your macros, but it has something to do with your age and your weight and whether your goals, whether you're trying to lose, gain, or maintain weight. But if you Google it, I'm sure you can find it. And just trying to figure out how many grams of fat, of protein, of carbs you should be taking in, and then based off that, you'll find out your calorie intake. Also, it does it based off like moderate intensity work, extreme intensity, low intensity. You can check out like there's a couple of macro apps. There's like Macro Stacks is the first one that comes to mind. Macro STAX. I used that for a little while, but a lot of it just comes down to macros, I guess, because it's not so much about, well, calories are obviously important, but the specific type of macros that you're taking in is also going to play a huge role. Most people don't eat enough protein and overeat the carbs. And so like you can eat the same amount of calories, but have completely different results depending on what type of macros you're putting into your body. So I hope that helps. Doing well. Got another 30 minutes left. What's up, KWM? Hey man, thinking of starting Muay Thai. Been a fan of your channel for a while. How do you think would benefit someone who has anxiety? So it would help you face your anxiety, that's for sure, because you have to put yourself out of your comfort zone. And most of the time when you're facing your anxiety, you're facing your fear, that's the biggest opportunity for growth. And that's why I started fighting, is because it scared the shit out of me. And I was really afraid of it. But I didn't want to just continue to be living in this perpetual state of fear. And so I faced the fear. And it's not as bad as you think it is. I mean, just like with anxiety, I have social anxiety. And you always make up all these like circumstances and events in your head that might happen. And then when you go to the event or you do the thing that you had anxiety about, it's never as crazy or bad as you think it is. So meanwhile, you stressed out so much about it because of just what you thought the reality would be in your head. But Muay Thai will just make you feel more confident. and feel more sure of yourself, and that will help with your anxiety as well. And also, like I said, just pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, stepping into the Muay Thai gym, sparring, potentially fighting one day. Once you fight, it kind of takes the edge off a lot of things in life that used to give you anxiety or stress. You realize things aren't as wild and crazy as you think they are. Fighting definitely dials down the life. Not that it dials down life, but it dials down like the stress in life, because once you fight, you realize like fighting's fucking hard and training's fucking hard. Everything else in life, not that it's not hard, but it's not as complicated and crazy as I think it is. So I hope that answers your question. Definitely join Muay Thai. Try it out. Give it a try. Changed my life. I know it's changed so many other people's life. If Muay Thai has changed your life and helped with your anxiety and helped with your confidence, helped with discipline, any of this kind of stuff, drop an emoji. I want to see how many people have the same type of passion for Muay Thai as I do. It's always so cool to just know that, like, obviously Muay Thai is a fighting sport, but you don't have to fight in order to get the benefit from it, because in reality, all of us are a fighter in one form or another. You're either fighting anxiety, fighting overcome social anxiety, fighting depression, fighting your weight, fighting negative environment, self-doubt, all this kind of stuff, or you're fighting against other people's critics, other criticism, other people's doubts that they're projecting onto you, the environment that you're in, all this kind of stuff. Maybe you're fighting for a better life for your family, for your kids, and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to step in the ring to be considered a fighter, in my opinion. Because we're all fucking fighters, yo. We're all fucking fighting something. Hell yeah. We got a bunch of motherfucking fighters up in here. Represent. Love it. All right, guys. Love the support. I love that you guys are you enjoying these lives? Because I'm enjoying them. So I'll probably keep on doing them. But if you guys are enjoying them, I'll make sure to keep on keeping on. Like I said, I'm doing these for the next 11 days straight. But it's not going to just be Q&A. I'm actually going to be teaching shit. So not that I'm not teaching shit here, but I have an actual structure that I'm going to be going through. I'm going to be teaching my morning routine. I'm going to be teaching some motivation hacks, if you will. Do a little Muay Thai striking crash course. Teach my favorite fighter's body exercises and drills to help you with your strength, your coordination, your balance, your control, your flexibility, so on and so forth. And they're really going to be game changers. So make sure sign up for the challenge, bitches. thefightersbody.com/challenge. But got any more questions? Let me know. Playing back UFC, I was wondering, who is your favorite UFC fighter? It's funny. I don't really have favorite fighters. I get asked this question a lot, and it's always changing day to day. I like Justin Gaethje. I like the way a lot of guys like Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje carry themselves, because they're just super respectful. They're in it for the love of the sport. They're in it for the growth reasons. McGregor has definitely changed. Before he was climbing the rankings, I liked his mentality and everything, but then he got a little power hungry, if you will, fame hungry. But now he seems to like tone it down a little bit, and is much more respectful. I like the way Edson Barbosa fights. I like Daniel Cormier a lot. I think he's a great commentator. Now, I hear some people say that he's not. He's actually giving. If you watched one championships, man, I like Michael Savello, but holy fuck, they're so annoying. They're so annoying. They're so biased on certain opponents. They're not like talking technically about the fight at all. They're just throwing out like catchphrases and hyperboles and all this kind of shit, and not talking technically at all. Meanwhile, you listen to Daniel Cormier and Paul Felder and like actual fighters, and you're able to pick up on this kind of stuff and actually learn something while you're fighting. I know I kind of went off topic a little bit, but yeah, Khalil Roundtree, I love that dude. He went live on Instagram after his loss yesterday, and that is more courageous than the fight itself, I feel like, because he lost the fight, and to open up to his fans and talk to them right after his loss, that takes a lot of courage. So I already respected him quite a bit, and my dog Tilly's playing with another dog right now. I'm always a little sketched out because they always like sometimes fight. So if I run off and you hear like all these dogs barking and yelling and shit, Tilly's just trying to play. It's a sexy boy dog. So she's like, "Ooh, who's this?" All right. Anyway, sorry. What you got? Hi, Sean. I'm 30. I've been training Muay Thai for 1.5 years. Is it too late for me to go somewhere in the sport? No. And what is somewhere? You have to define what somewhere is for you, because somewhere for you is different than somewhere for me or someone else, right? All of our goals are different and everything. So first you have to define what somewhere is, and then you can actually figure out if that's a goal that can actually happen. But it's all in the mind, right? And so if you believe you can do it, chances are you can do it. If you believe that you're too late, you're too old, then you are, right? The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he cannot, they're both right. So you're not too old. You can go somewhere in the sport. You can enjoy the benefits of fighting, of competing, of doing all that kind of stuff. I know guys in their 40s and 50s who had their first few fights, and are they going to be a world champion? No, but they're able to really like improve themselves and learn about themselves, and that's why we do the sport. At least that's why I do the sport. I don't do it for belts and that kind of stuff. I do it because it helps me just be a better person. And I hope that it does the same for you all as well. So, what's up? What's up? What's up? How would a Muay Thai fighter beat a boxer? Kick the shit out of them. Just fucking kick them. Kick their legs, kick the body, kick the arms, kick their head, teep them, clinch them. Do anything but box with them. Question answered. Boom. Thinking badminton. My inner groin area are so tight. When I'm warm, I can throw kicks, no problem. But when I'm cold, I can barely throw one without proper pain and stiffness. How am I going to throw kicks in a street fight? Any tips? Well, in a street fight, your adrenaline is a hell of a fucking drug. And so you'll loosen up really quickly once you have a street fight, right? But true flexibility is being able to kick high when you're completely cold and everything, right? And so doing some stuff like yin yoga and long stretches or long holds for certain stretches is going to help you improve that flexibility over the long term. But yeah, in the context of a street fight, adrenaline will get you warmed up. You shouldn't be throwing too many kicks in a street fight anyway. I would stick to punches and elbows for the most part, and maybe clinching. Kicks, you don't want to fall to the ground, you know. And if you lose your balance, if they catch your kick, if they do any of that kind of stuff, it just compromises you. So in a street fight, you want to have your feet underneath you as much as you can. If anything, just fucking throw leg kicks. People don't. If you've never been kicked in the leg and you throw a fucking leg kick at someone, they're gonna have no idea what the fuck just happened, and then they're gonna be thinking twice about, oh shit, what am I doing fighting this guy? Just throw a fucking leg kick. Don't worry about head kicks. Yeah, don't worry about head kicks. A guy I trained with, Federico, he tried to throw a head kick at a guy with a knife, and the guy just fucking slashed his leg down, like all the way down his leg, and almost cut his femoral artery. So there's just an example for why not to throw head kicks in a street fight, especially if the guy has a knife. If the guy has a knife, don't fucking fight him. There you go. My wife and I and our kids are ages 8 and 3. Have all started our Muay Thai journeys, and we use your videos for guidance. Thanks a lot, and keep up the good work. That is beautiful. The fact that your whole family is involved, you're going to create a little Muay Thai army. That's what I'm looking to do. Once me and Liz decide to start having kids, yeah, they're going to be a little Muay Thai fucking badasses. And we might, who knows, maybe we'll adopt some Thai babies and continue building our Muay Thai army and take over the world. But that's awesome. That's so great. Thank you for sharing that. Do you have any suggestions for low price, high quality 6-foot heavy bag, plus mounting ideas with no cross beams available in my garage? So I have just like you can't see it right here, but it's like a hook. It's drilled into the ceiling with like a 4-screw like plate, and then the hook is in the middle. And so that's how I hang my heavy bag. But there are some other heavy bag stands. As for cheap and affordable, you could probably make your own heavy bag if you really want to come down to it. You can check out YouTube for like how to make your own heavy bag. But cheap and affordable, when you say words like that, just know that you're probably not going to get good quality. And so it might not last as long as you want. Century makes good heavy bags. Fairtex makes good heavy bags. I'm going to start making should I start making heavy bags, guys? I need to know this because they cost a little bit to manufacture, obviously. But I've gotten requests in the past to make heavy bags, but I don't know if there's enough demand for it to actually drop the type of money that I would need to drop to get it made. So if you would be interested in me making heavy bags, like the ones that you see back here, right here, and I have a teardrop bag, you can't really see with this question on there, just drop an emoji or let me know. Like, hell yeah, like a heavy bag. I want a Muay Thai guy heavy bag. I want a Nak Muay Nation heavy bag. I want to be cool, just like Sean. Yeah, let me know. You'll buy two? All right, cool. Yeah, I will add that on the list. I will add that on the list because I have a lot of stuff going on, but heavy bags will be fun. Hell yeah, low price, high quality ones. Yeah, if there is such a thing, I will try to make that a reality. But most heavy bags are going to cost a little bit, especially if they're filled. But I figure I'll probably sell the heavy bags, unfilled, and then send you videos on how to fill them. Because if you get them filled, they cost a lot more to not only pay for the filling, but also pay for the shipping. And if you were just to fill them yourself, it takes maybe like an hour, not even, if you know what you're doing, right? So I'll make sure to make some videos. So if you guys ever need to fill your heavy bags, boom, there you go. Smell chlorine. So I want to be a UFC champion, so he completely tells me what I should do as a beginner kickboxing, Muay Thai, or MMA. If I want to be a UFC champion, train MMA. If I want to be a Muay Thai champion, train Muay Thai. If I want to be a kickboxing champion, train kickboxing. Boom. Secret. I think I've heard people do multiple martial arts. Is that not recommended? Do whatever you want. I recommend to do what makes you happy. Depends on your goals. Depends why you're training martial arts. Like I train solely Muay Thai because A, I'm the Muay Thai guy, so I gotta live up to my fucking name, right? And then B, it's just my profession, right? I fight Muay Thai professionally, and so to get good at Muay Thai, I do Muay Thai. Do I mix in some boxing and other martial arts every now and then? Yeah, but 99% of my training is Muay Thai. If you're more about just learning different martial arts to experience different cultures and different ways of fighting, then do as many martial arts as you want, So it kind of just depends on your reasons for training and your reasons for wanting to do other martial arts. I'm 15 and want to know how I can prepare for my first amateur kickboxing fight. Train as much as you can, listen to your coaches, and just put in the work. Just put in the work. I have a couple blog posts and podcasts about how to train for your first fight. The complete guide for training for your first fight. Me and Paul did a whole podcast. It was a two episode podcast. So if you go to muaythaiguy.com and you click on the Start Here button or the Start Here page, there's a whole list of FAQs, frequently asked questions. And so most of the questions that you guys are asking here can actually be answered in my my website. And so if you go to muaythaiguy.com and click on the Start Here, there'll be a whole list of stuff. And inside that, you'll find how to prepare for your first amateur fight. So go check those out, and those will give you a little bit more details than what I'm giving you right here. Would you use the Kung Fu sweep in Muay Thai like Tony Ferguson versus Justin? Also, is illegal in Muay Thai? The Kung Fu sweep. I can't recall what that looks like technically. There's a hummingbird. But I can't answer the question because I don't know what sweep you're talking about. Kung Fu sweep. You can't like hook behind anyone. I don't know. Sorry. I'm not the Nostradamus of Muay Thai? Noob tuber. I spar a lot of kickers that do karate. What are some kicks other than the main 2 kicks of teep and roundhouses to add to my knowledge and style? Honestly, the only 2 kicks I throw are the teep and roundhouse. And it works quite well for me. And when I'm fighting karate motherfuckers, I just kick their fucking legs. So they'll stop hopping around and shit. They can throw their little side kicks and that kind of stuff, but I'll just kick them a lot harder. And that usually works. You can throw spinning kicks. You can throw side kicks, side teeps. Side teeps are actually pretty effective. Ball cow, Sanchai. A lot of Thais use the jumping lead side teep. But man, you don't need much. All you need is a teep and a roundhouse. Like if you spar a Thai here in Thailand, they could spar you with their hands behind their head and just a teep and fuck you up, and it's crazy. But a teep and a roundhouse, I mean, that's what makes Muay Thai so dangerous and arguably the best striking martial art. Yeah, karate and these other kicks have their time and place, but it's a whole like Bruce Lee quote, right? I'd be more. I don't remember. I'm just like paraphrasing this. I'd rather fight the man who's practiced 10,000 kicks once. I fear the man who had. You know what I'm fucking saying. Someone dropped the quote for me. Essentially, train one kick 10,000 times. Don't train 10,000 kicks one time. Just get really good at Muay Thai and roundhouses and teeps. Okay, that's my advice. You can throw spinning hook kicks and that kind of shit. I don't throw spinning shit because it makes me fucking dizzy. But also because it just takes too much effort. I'd rather just get really good at the fundamentals because they work. Fundamentals work. In your training, how much is strength training? How much is Muay Thai? So I do strength training twice a week for about an hour and a half each session, and then the rest is Muay Thai. So like when I'm training for a fight, I guess 2, 4, 6, 8. I probably train like 8 to 10 times a week Muay Thai sessions, and then 2 times a week strength sessions. Then I run and do sprints and some yoga before and after training sessions and that kind of stuff. Right now, I'm just doing 2 strength sessions a week and then doing a lot of my own training because I'm filming a lot of workouts for the fighter's body and that kind of stuff. But yeah. Are there any good Muay Thai books? Yeah, The Fighter's Heart is one of the most inspiring books to my life because it gave me the idea of traveling to Thailand to have my first Muay Thai fight. So The Fighter's Heart by Sam Sheridan, The Fighter's Mind by Sam Sheridan is also a good book. They're not specifically Muay Thai, but they have Muay Thai in it. All right. Other than that, I am releasing a book soon. It's been like over a year. It's like done, right? I just haven't like fucking released it yet because I haven't like read through it yet, and I want to make sure that it's just like what I envision it. But it's gonna be called Muay Thai Mastery, and I already have an ebook on it, but this one's gonna blow that shit out of the water, and I'm gonna put it on Kindle and everything. There's also On Fighting in Thailand. I also have a Thailand travel guide, travel train fight Muay Thai in Thailand in my Nak Muay Nation shop. There's some like technique books and that kind of stuff too. But I read a lot of books, but not Muay Thai specifically. The George St. Pierre biography was a good book. Relentless is a good book. Not Muay Thai, but it helps you just with your work ethic and your mindset and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there's some. If you guys have any other Muay Thai books I'm missing, drop them in the comments. Help out a fellow Nak Muay. All right, we got we'll do like I'll give it a couple more minutes and then I'll count down. What's the most brutal fight style in your opinion? Muay Thai. Muay Thai. Who am I to call myself the Muay Thai guy if I don't answer Muay Thai to that question? Lethway, I guess. Lethway with fucking headbutts and shit. I guess that's the most brutal. So I lied. I have lied to myself. Lethway, yeah, for sure. How much can you earn from amateur fights in Thailand? Fucking nothing. So there's no amateur fights in Thailand. They're all technically professional fights. If you're getting paid any money, then it's a professional fight. If you're not getting paid, then it's an amateur fight, technically. There's amateur level fights though, and there's professional level fights. That depends on the promotion and your opponent and that kind of stuff. But give you some insight. So I've been paid as little as 3,000 baht, which is about $100, and I've been paid as much as 25,000 baht. That was for a fight in Bangkok, or 20,000 baht. That was for a fight in Bangkok on a actual promotion, and that's less than $1,000. So yeah, you don't get into this shit for money. Do not get into fighting for money. But yeah, that's why I started the Muay Thai Guy blog and the YouTube channel, because I knew I wanted to pursue Muay Thai, but I wanted to make a little bit of money too, to support myself and to pursue my passions and open up a gym, the vision for the gym that I have. And I knew I had to make a little bit of money, and fighting wasn't going to do that unless I was like a fucking Mayweather, McGregor, Saenchai, and didn't really have any real desire to be. I mean, obviously you want to be the best you can. I didn't really have a desire to like fight as obsessively as they do, but each to their own, right? All right. Ben, I keep ripping my elbows open, throwing elbows on a heavy bag. Am I doing something wrong, or do I just have to get tougher skin? Think about so a lot of the elbows that you throw on the bag, you're probably throwing a lot of like slashing elbows, right? Try to have the elbow more like push through, boom. So you're trying to like almost like use it as a punch as opposed to like a slash. So these are slashing motions, right? Now, I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell the difference, but I'm more like pushing through the bag and trying to hit with the elbow as opposed to like slash with the elbow. So that can help a little bit. But also you can wear elbow pads or just wear a long sleeve shirt. That's going to help a little bit as well. And then, yeah, it'll just take a little time to condition them. I mean, even my elbows sometimes get cut up when I'm hitting the heavy bag, because you try to like hit it without like slashing it. But when you slash it, that's just naturally like a cutting motion. That's why it's called slashing, right? And so it might cut up your skin a little bit. So just try to make it more of like a punch where you're like pushing. It's not even a push, but you're trying to punch, right? And as opposed to trying to slash. Dropping some knowledge bombs, yo. We'll do 3 more questions. All right, we're gonna do 3 more questions after this one, and then I'm gonna give away a free T-shirt. Sound good? Do you practice any breathing techniques while doing yoga? Do you meditate? If so, how do you feel it has helped your Muay Thai? Yes, I do breathing techniques every morning. I meditate every morning. I do a little bit of stretching / yoga every morning. I also do some self-hypnosis using the Prime Mind app every now and then as well, which I'm a big fan of. So it's been a game changer, man, because people always talk about the power of the mind, and training is 90% mental and 10% physical, but then people don't actually concentrate on their mind at all. So I do some box breathing. I do some Ujjayi breath. You can look this shit up. And then, yeah, just some intentional breathing, big deep breaths and that kind of stuff is really beneficial. There's also like the fire breath. I don't know what it's called in yoga. I'm sure it's called some type of special thing, but alternate nostril breathing is something I do every now and then as well. But it's really made me much more conscious of my breath. And your breath is everything. Without your breath, like, you're going to lose your breath. You're going to lose your cardio. You're going to lose your focus and that kind of stuff. And if you're able to recenter yourself with your breath, you'll be a lot more in tune and aware of what's going on in front of you. And so in fighting, being able to center yourself with your breath has been a game changer for me. And so yoga, in that sense, yoga essentially taught me meditation. And yeah, it's been like, obviously it helps me kick higher and feel better and help with injuries and that kind of stuff. But the breath work has been, and the meditation has been really impactful. I'm going into my 5-day challenge. I'm going to break down my exact morning routine where I do this certain type of meditation. I'm going to break down the exact type of meditation I do along with my exact like mobility sequence that I do every morning and that kind of stuff. So if you want to learn that, then sign up, bitches. All right, 3 more questions. 3 more questions. Yeah. Do you run every day? If you do, how much? Yes, I run every day between, I would say like 2 and 5K, depending on the day. Every morning, I just, part of my morning routine, I go for a run. And depending on how I feel that day, I either just do, so there's like there's 2 essentially, there's 2 routes that I do. One is like a 2.5K route, and one is a 5K route. And I kind of make that decision as I go. When I'm training for a fight, usually I run about 5K a day. And then like once a week, I like to do a little bit of a longer run between like 7 and 10K. But yeah, I really enjoy running. I enjoy being outside in nature with my thoughts. I typically don't listen to music or anything when I run because I just like talk about breathing techniques. Running and being like really conscious of your breath. There's a really good book called Running with the Mind of Meditation. I forgot who wrote it, but it made me much more aware of my running technique, my breath, my mindset while I was running. And so definitely you can check that out as well. 2 more questions. What you guys got? What do you think of using dancing to supplement footwork like Anderson Silva with capoeira, Israel Adesanya with hype? Do you know of any styles that could be beneficial? Yeah, I mean, I know Lomachenko did dancing and ballet for a little while, and I'm not well versed in dancing. Let me tell you that right now. My wife is always trying to get me to take dance lessons, which I might actually be doing this Saturday, doing bachata. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but we're going to be doing it. And so it should be interesting. But yeah, it just helps you with your coordination, with your footwork, with your body control and that kind of stuff. And so so does gymnastics and that kind of shit. And so if you're able to do things that you really have to learn how to isolate and move your body in certain ways, it's going to help you with just your athleticism, your coordination, and your movement. And so I took capoeira once. It's always been something I've wanted to take more of because of the benefit of just like creating new neural pathways and helping you learn, helping you control your body in different ways. Yeah, definitely would recommend that. So yeah, any type of dance, really, salsa, ballet, that kind of shit. What do you find are the best foods for charging your energy? Bananas, apples. I drink juice every morning. I made a celery, cucumber juice, apple juice this morning. Those usually feel pretty good. Some slow digest. It depends on like how fast I want energy too, because I'll take more slow digesting carbs, like a oatmeal bowl with some peanut butter and that kind of stuff. But that takes a while to digest, and then I'll have energy. But typically, man, just a banana, an apple. What else do I fucking eat? I eat a lot of bananas and apples, if you couldn't tell. I just keep it simple. I try not to, I mean, obviously I'll still diversify my food. I love food. I love eating a bunch of things. But the first half of the day is essentially always the same in regards to what I eat and what I do. I mean, there's slight differences like the juice I make and that kind of stuff. But more or less, just like simple foods, man. Just healthy, natural foods, blueberries, almonds, that kind of shit. All right, 2 more questions. 2 more questions. And then I'll give away this Muay Thai guy. Oh, where am I? This is Muay Thai guy tank top because it looks sexy, doesn't it? I'm 5'9", 30 years old and looking to compete in Muay Thai. What would my weight, height category be? So there's no height category. I don't know what your weight is. So I don't know. You got to tell me your weight, and then I'll be able to figure that out. But yeah, it's just weight classes. It's not height classes, which it fucking should be. I hate fighting tall dudes. Scott is on it. Scott, he's a ninja in the background, posting these things, getting the best questions up. And like I said, if you guys have questions, I'll try to, after this live is done, I'll be answering your questions that I didn't get to via typing on this video at some point. So if you're watching this video in the future, feel free to drop a question. I'll do my best to get to it. But yeah, Scott's killing it, making sure I'm getting these questions. One more question. What age should you start shin conditioning? How should you start? What is the best method? You should start shin conditioning as soon as you can. There's so much different philosophies on this. My philosophy is you just kick a heavy bag a lot. There's no silver bullet. There's no fast way to do it. People talk about banging their shins with wooden pipes and that kind of stuff. And sure, you can do that. I feel like my shins are pretty conditioned, and all I've done is fucking kick shit over and over and over again. Yeah, just kick the heavy bag a lot. I have a shin conditioning video on my YouTube that kind of goes a little bit more in detail, so you can check that out. But yeah, just you can start as soon as possible and just start kicking shit. Drink a lot of milk, get nice and strong, and yeah. So hopefully that helps. All right, guys. So my computer is slowly dying, so I'm going to ask another trivia question, and whoever wins gets this Nak Muay Nation tank top. So I have these in white or black, like I'm wearing, and you get a free one because you're awesome and you've been watching this with me live. So let's see. Who is actually thought, because I'm usually like coming up with these on the top of my head, but I actually was thinking last night, like, what trivia question am I going to ask? This is the one. Who's the only foreigner to beat Saenchai? Who is the only foreigner to beat Saenchai? Do 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 do. Swati clap. Kapkun clap. Who is the only foreigner to beat Saenchai? Who's got the answer? Who wants a free shirt? Decker, nope. It's a different time. Different time. Damien Trainer, nope. Different weight class. John Wayne Parr, nope. Different weight class. Fabio Pinca, boom. Moman Mosley, you sexy beast, you. It's email support@nakmuaynation.com. Let us know the answer and that you won this free Muay Thai guy tank top. Fabio Pinca is the only one to beat Saenchai. Saenchai has beaten over 70 foreigners, and Fabio Pinca was the only one to beat him. It was a very close fight. It was on a yoke-out promotion, but he essentially won by staying busier and clinching Saenchai a little bit and scoring in there. So well done with that answer. Good job. I see a bunch of people answering it afterwards. Sorry, just a second too late. Mosley was super fast. So let me finish this. So, guys, sign up for the fucking challenge. I'm telling you, do it right now. You're not gonna regret it. It's gonna be super useful. I might be doing it live on YouTube and Facebook as well, but I want you to join the Nak Muay Nation Facebook group. It's been growing, and it's been really incredible to see the community that's growing inside the Nak Muay Nation Facebook group, because a lot of toxicity is on social media right now. And I'm doing my best to create communities where people are supportive of one another and trying to lift each other up. And the Nak Muay Nation Facebook group is becoming that place. And along with the Fighter's Body family, which is a little bit more tight-knit, and I kind of interact a little bit more in there. But the Nak Muay Nation Facebook group, people are posting their training footage, sharing their vulnerabilities, asking for critique, and people are providing feedback without being assholes about it. And I think there's a really good vibe going up in there. And so I'll be posting the challenge videos and the challenge homework assignments in there. And if you want to win a free Fighter's Body 1-year membership, which is valued at around $400, make sure you sign up for the challenge and do the homework assignments. Because the homework assignments, it's not just to give you homework assignments. These are things these are tools that if you actually do them and implement them, they can have a huge impact on not just your training, but your life, I swear. Because we all train for one reason or another. It's either to become a champion fighter or to just better yourself in one way or another. And the tools I'm going to give you with the morning routine, with some motivation hacks, with some specific techniques and drills and that kind of stuff, is going to be super beneficial. So go check that out. I would love to have you part of the challenge. I'm going to be going live every day at 8 p.m. Eastern time. This time, every day for the next week, I'm going live at this time. So I hope to see you guys all there. I'll be throwing in some free stuff every now and then. I've been giving away free stuff every video, right? Now I'm going to be giving away free training for the next couple of videos. And I might give away some free shirts and shorts if I get enough people joining in and watching and engaging. But you guys have been killing it with that. And I appreciate you guys all jumping on here, asking questions, just being a part of these lives in this community. It does not go unnoticed. So thank you all so much. But I'll answer your questions at the end. Go sign up for the challenge.